Good morning and welcome back to the allotment and the channel on this lovely, glorious morning. I'm Mal, known as the Veg Plot Man if it's the first time you're popping in, and I'm down today to crack on and get some more planting, but not before I've finished offloading this compost. I've got 5 bags in total, I've another 2 to get, so I'll crack on and get those and let's get on the plot. So there we go, that's 3, 6, and back up to 10 bags of compost. And I like to do that this time of year, just keep them up to about 10, because when it comes to potting on the peppers into the big pots, I do need quite a little bit. So what I might do though this time is top half of it up with the compost out of the compost bay and half out of here, so that'll leave me some spare compost going forward. Right, so what have I been up to this week? Well, the first thing is that nice pitch pine timber that I got. I quite patiently stripped that down. I've now got around 120 pieces of really good quality timber to do the roof in the sun shelter. As I've said before, I've cleared the small greenhouse. All the dahlias are out and the cannas are out, and they've been outside hardening off, so that's a good thing, and I'll show you those a little bit later on. So today what I want to do is I want to get the strawberries in, which weren't on the list, which weren't on the plan, so yet again that plan's going to have to jiggle about, but hey ho, that's all the fun of it. I want to get those in. What else do I want to get in? I need to do another row of carrots. Definitely got to do another row of carrots, and I might just get those clematis in and give them a chance to get the roots down. So let's crack on and get going. Before we start the planting, I'll just show you the small greenhouse. As I say, that's all prepped, all weeded. I'm going to put some fish blood and bone in amongst this, just to freshen it up before the sweet corn, which are doing okay at the back here. They're going to be planted eventually into the back here, not all of them. I'm probably going to get about 8 in the back of there. So yeah, I've got a little bit of soil preparation to do for that. They're the strawberries that I need to get away and get those out today, and they are Cambridge favourite, so I'm going to get those in. And these are the climbers, which seem to be doing really well. I mean, particularly this one, that's way up here. So yeah, I want to get those in. Oh, and by the way, there we go, that's one of the bananas, the big bananas. Oh, so that might come through that actually. But those little pups, how do we get those off? If anybody's got any ideas, give me a shout, because I've never dealt with bananas before. Morning, Martin. Martin's on early. Martin must have wet the bed. Right, so yes, so where we are now is at the front. The grass has taken really well, and as you can see, all the dahlias are out hardening off. They've been out all night. Alliums are looking lovely, and then the cannas are looking very well indeed, very healthy. The pots need a little bit of a weed. Now I could divide those now, but I think I'm going to give them another season in these pots, and then I'm going to go to work on them probably next season. what else I've done as well is down at the bottom, which I will show you in 2 seconds, I've prepared the a couple of beds for my squash. So let's nip down there and have a quick look at that again before we start planting. Yeah, I managed to get some horse manure off Martin, and what I've done here, I've prepared these squash boxes, so there's a good layer of horse manure underneath that, a good 6-inch layer, and also I put some grass clippings in there, hoping that it might just heat up a little bit, which will work well for the squash and the bambino pumpkins. So there's that one there. I've also done this one here, the top one and the bottom one. I've all got manure and a few grass clippings in there to provide a little bit of heat. So hopefully I can send them away all the way down the fences, and they'll hang nicely. Have a look at the parsnips, they're doing quite well. And there's quite a lot of shoots showing here, but I think they're weed seed, so I'm going to have to hang fire and let that get a little bit weedy until the parsnips show the true leaves, and then I can get what weeds are out. Everything's looking healthy here. Right, the strawberries are going over there, so let's crack on with the first task. Right, so I've weeded this bed and it's about ready to take strawberries, which this year I'm going to make a real effort to cover them up so that we can get the maximum harvest from them. What tends to happen is the birds tend to get more than their fair share. So we've got 12 altogether. I'm going to just give them plenty of space. Before I do that, get a little bit of fish blood and bone in there, just to give them a boost. Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of work on the sun shelter, so I'm wanting to crack on and get that ceiling sorted out, and then I know I can draw a line under that. These are absolutely beautiful plants, these. What I think I'm going to do in a couple of my videos, if I pluck up enough courage, is I'm going to nip out and go to various garden centres, local garden centres, and just compare the prices. And if I'm brave enough, I might take you along with me. I'm still a little bit shy getting the camera out when there's folk about. Right, leave me to crack on with these, and I'll get back to you once we've done it. There we go, all planted up. A little bit of fish blood and bone. All they need now is a really good watering in. So pleased with that, looks lovely. What I've noticed from the garden centres, as we're on about it, is the quality of the pots nowadays have improved dramatically. They're not that cheap plastic stuff that degrades really easy and cracks. It's got more of a rubber texture to it, so definitely worth keeping hold of those. Right, let's crack on. dear me, I'm not getting any younger. That's the last of the autumn king gone in. I'll just rake that over, give it a water and put the lids back on. But whilst they were down there, I was looking, and the lovely lilies that Ali from the Rusty Garden got me, I started to shoot through. And guess what? I've spotted a lily beetle already. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on those. I'm not sure what I can do to control them, but a local gardener to Yorkshire, he's passed away now, bless him, Joe Maiden, used to use what he called squashology, and basically just come down, rattle the plant and put a white piece of paper underneath, rattle the plant, you'll see them standing out, pick them up and squash them. I don't know if I can be that callous, but I've got to keep an eye on them. Glad I've seen them. Oh. Right now, planting the arch up. As you know, I've already got a climbing rose, red rose going up this side, and we've got a cream clematis which has just sent its first flower out on this side here. So what I'm going to do is, this is a passion flower, and that's going to go on the middle one here. Then I've got a red clematis, Ernest Markham, which is going on there. And morning, you alright? Yeah. He thinks I'm absolutely crazy talking to myself, honestly. You can't see the camera. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the other red clematis opposite it, because I bought two when I had a little bit of a brain fart that I keep having. So those two will go on there, so that'll look the same as it comes round. But I'm going to plant these ones obviously down the other side in the bed. So let's crack on and get them planted. Right now, for the Ernest Markham, in the edge of that there, this bed has got quite good soiling, so this should go well in here. A little bit of mycorrhizal in there, just to try and encourage the root growth. I did pop these on, and as you can see, I've started to come through the pot. So that little sort of 2 weeks in the greenhouse should pay dividends. Let's get that on there. And in we go, and stick that at the corner, Ernest Markham, and I know that that one opposite is going to be the same there. This one is the clematis tritonata, rubra marginata. I don't know what that says, it's all French to me. But there we go. Get that one in here. What I'm going to do later on, obviously off camera, is same as I did for the rose and the clematis. I'm going to put some wire up this arch, just so it's got something to purchase onto and hold itself. Mycorrhizal. I tell you, we've had some absolutely fantastic weather down here. I ain't complaining. It won't be long now, because we've had about a week's worth of it. It won't be long now before people will be saying, oh, we need a bit of cool weather. I'm telling you now, I won't be one of those people. The warmer the better for me. Obviously, we all need a little bit of rain to make sure that the crops go well. But other than that, the warmer the better. Right, that obviously is going to go up there once I get cracking. That's that one in there, and I'm going to leave that under there to remind me to put a label in there. Right, I'll get the other two sorted and I'll come back to you. So that's all of them planted, and it's really starting to take shape. It'll be brilliant once these start to thicken up on both sides and create that lovely welcoming archway with lovely colour and hopefully lovely scent. So remember, I've also got some dahlias to go in here, so it should be a picture once we get it all sorted. Right, I've got one more job to do, and that's down at the other end of the plot. Let's get on. Before we do, got to take a look at that grass. Those that have been with me for a while will have known that that was an absolute mud bath when we was building the sun shelter there. Absolute mud bath. It's absolutely glorious now. I'll just take you in here because there's some of the wood that I stripped down off the pallets, and that's going to be going up there, but not just yet. Got other jobs to do. So what I'm going to do is create a little herb bed just by the entrance to the allotment, using one of my Gabion baskets. And I'm going to use this compost and top it up with some fresh compost, and they should go well. Hoping that I get compost like this every year. Let's see how that fits. Looks great stuff, does this? Do you know, I might not bother using any fresh compost. I might just throw in some fish blood and bone into it to revitalise it, and then it should be okay. Just get a couple more spades full. Right, there we go. So that's nicely rubbed in there. I'm going to put a bit of this fish blood and bone in. Just give it a little bit more life. And then we'll get planting. Sure, I heard a car. Somebody will walk past again, think I'm talking to myself. Right, I've got a chive here, which can go in there. I'm going to put another chive from the other end, like so. And then I'm going to put parsley. Hey up, mate. I'm filming, so I'm not talking to myself. Yeah. Did you think I'd lost a marble? Yeah. It's when you start answering yourself back, Chris. Well, that's it, yeah. Yeah. So I'll put this parsley in here. There we go. That's a nice one, isn't it? And then these are a little bit close together, but do you know what? When they get too big, I can always just take them out and take them out and just plant them somewhere else in the pot, or give them a little bit more space. Now this is oregano. I know that this will get quite big, but you know what, it's going in here for now. I'll use it as much as I can, and then if I need to replant it somewhere else in the future, then we can look at that and make a plan. Yeah, it's surprising the amount of people that walk past and I think I'm off my trolley, because I'm always muttering to myself. Right, there we go. Pot's collected up. And that's my planting for today. But I just have one question to ask and see if any of you out there can help me. Get this cleared up and watered. I'll be back. There we go, I think that looks great. Right at the side of the clematis that we planted the other week, which is now throwing out some buds. But yeah, I think that looks great. I've also got another one of these baskets, and I think I'll put something on that side, and that will probably be herbs again. Right, let's get across and see if you guys can help me with my dilemma. Yep, little blackbird there, picking away. So, the dilemma that I've got is, as you know, I've had this grape since last year. I bought it and it was going to go on the sun shelter on the bottom plot, which I've now given up. But it's been in its pot, it's survived, and it's going into leaf for the second time. Now, I was thinking, would it be possible? I've never grown grapes before, don't know the first thing about it. I just wondered, would I be able to plant this in the centre of this fence and train it, keeping it low, running all the way along there. I could increase the trellis by putting something a little bit higher over the top if I wanted to, but would I be able to train it onto there? I mean, and if needs be, it can run beyond the water butts and all the way along the fence. But rather than it being a big tall plant, just keeping it low and just training it along the fence. Let me know in the comments if you think that's doable. Well folks, that's brought me to the end of another video. It's time for work, believe it or not. I'd just like to thank everybody for watching all the usual stuff. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, it'd be fantastic. And I will see you on the next one, hopefully at the weekend, where we'll crack on getting those jobs done and getting whatever plants we can get in. So until the next time, take care and happy growing.